Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. Got us another loaded week on our hands here. And definitely at a tough spot here for the market as well as many names. We got a few minutes to the bell here, so we'll dig into this real quick. Gonna start off here by refreshing our memory here, if you didn't catch my prep last night, on what we got coming up here this week, right? And as we saw yesterday in my prep here, we've got a loaded week here from the Fed. We got Fed speakers every single day, but more importantly, we have CPI here dropping tomorrow before the bell. And then we got PPI dropping here Wednesday before the bell. So we got some good economic data drops this week. We'll see what those look like here. And again, Fed speakers every single day here to just really finish us off, right? Couldn't be more annoying. That's all right. So today here on a Monday, while we wait for this CPI and this PPI, could see a pretty quiet day here on the market, especially sitting up here at these highs. But ideally, actually, what I would like to see is maybe a pullback here to just maybe engulf Friday, right, and kind of refresh us a little bit before these numbers drop. You know, if we get some favorable numbers, this would then give us a little bit of room to pop back up off of that good data. But overall, like, you know, the targets we have here around us, again, maybe a nice pullback here to engulf this day gets us back here to this daily 50 simple moving average here in gold, which would also get us back down right around to this daily Ichimoku bottom. So really like these targets here. You know, ES also has more room to run here to the upside, but again, gonna be tough here, especially with, let's jump over here to NQ. With NQ having made such a decent run up here kind of cracking through this third Kellner channel to the upside. Again, still has a little room to run here, but we're gonna see a few names deep up in this third Kellner channel. So again, gonna be tough here to go higher. Doesn't mean we can't, right? Because again, you know, looking back over to this weekly chart, you know, a lot of weekly charts here, indices and names are looking like this, right? Kind of breaking out of a downtrend. We could really crank higher here. But again, because we have CPI tomorrow and PPI on Wednesday, you know, today would be a solid day for a pullback, right? Doesn't mean we get it, but I'm just going to be hyper aware of that, right? I'm going to be ready to play some downside here today, knowing that they might kind of clean the slate here to go into the rest of the week. So something just to keep in mind, right? Again, doesn't mean we can't just keep cranking higher today, but just something we have looming here this week is that CPI and PPI, and today is a good day in between. YM also up here, you know, along with the other indices, up at the top of these lower time frame squeezes. I believe this is a 4 hour actually. Yep, it's a 4 hour right here. So a decent squeeze top here to possibly short at, and also have this daily 200 simple moving average tossed into the mix here. This solid blue stair-stepping line. So again, at a good spot here on the indices for possibly a short, right? Still prepared here on this weekly chart that we could go higher, but just staying very aware of where we are here on the market, both up and down. And we got a lot of these daily Ichimoku clouds here in play as well. Alright, and just real quick, gonna plow through some names here. Apple, one of those names here at the very top of our Kellner study here on this daily. Again, just a quick look here to the weekly. And Apple's got a little bit more room to run up here near this 200, right? Breaking out of this downtrend could keep cranking higher. But again, I want to see a pullback here on this Monday before all this economic data drops this week. And again, a little pullback here to the mean maybe gets us down here to the top of this daily Ichimoku cloud. This is about 182.5. Mean down here about 177, 178. So, looking for an overall move maybe to just like 180 if we get a pullback, right? 6 points in a day for Apple would be kind of a heavy ask, so we'd have to have a pretty crazy drop here today to pull back to 180. But we'll see, right? We have this whole week. Let's just see what this week looks like. Maybe we just pull back here to this 182-ish, gets us to this daily Ichimoku cloud, and we pop from there. Again, I'm looking for a pullback here, but it doesn't mean it has to be like a crazy drop, right? Just a little bit of profit taking here before hitting some economic data tomorrow. AMD. AMD is one I kind of like here to the downside. AMD's been one that has had really no problem returning to ranges. As we have seen here in the past couple of months, AMD has been pretty sideways between this 100 and this 110. So I really would not be surprised at all if AMD on a day like today just dropped right back into this range and just kind of settles again before the next leg up. So again, not a bad name to short here. Just a quick look at some contracts. And we had a couple puts here close at beast. So really anything between this 110 and this 115 I kind of like here. But of course, always play as close as you can afford. Amazon, another one that's pretty jacked up here. Again, just going to keep referring to this weekly chart to remind y'all. We could go a little bit higher here. Amazon, a stronger name, so again, might require the whole market for this to go higher. I maybe wouldn't short it either, just because she's been pretty strong up here near this 140. But again, if we get a good pullback, we should see all names give it up some. Google is what I'm going to be watching here this morning and going to probably play here this morning. Really like Google both ways, right? Still looking to fill this gap to the upside. Got quite a few points here, so we could have a nice move to the upside if market allows. Or even if we get some rotation within tech, right? Google could easily run by itself while they park everything else. So something to keep an eye on here while we try to fill this gap to the upside. And then an easy play back down, right? Just shorting down here through the mean, just a little rollover, could be no problem. A short here, maybe get back to the bottom of this gap. Here at this 128, got another little gap down here, already filled, but something to keep an eye on. And then of course this daily Ichimoku cloud at a key point here, right? Can we hold above it or are we gonna stay below it? Something to keep an eye on. Really like Google here. Going to be playing this name here this morning. Meta, another one up here near its highs, right? Even its recent highs on this weekly, getting ready to break out the top of this thing. So really like Meta here to the upside, and as you can see on this weekly chart, has a little room to run. But again, one of these names here on the daily at least, pretty cranked up. Maybe needs the whole market, right, to get through like this weekly squeeze top. Just something to keep in mind. But I do like Meta both ways here. If we do have a decent rollover, Meta hasn't been shy to roll over with the market in a strong manner, but also, looking strong here to the upside, right? Can crack this 330, I like it to the upside. But since we're already up here, if we can't get through this 330, could be a nice short right here for Meta. Microsoft, another name that just keeps cranking higher, but I just can't really bring myself to buy longs up here. Right, really jacked up here, cracking through the top of this third Kellner channel. Let's see here on the weekly, already cracking highs as well. So, if this is your jam, just keep playing it in the trend, right? It could keep working, but just don't love the risk reward here going higher. And would I short such a strong name? Not sure. Probably better names to play. Netflix, same as Microsoft, sorry. Really jacked up here, had a really good earnings to the upside, just keeps on pumping up here near this 450. I don't mind the short here at 450, but again, shorting a strong name, so don't know how strong or how good of a short might be here on Netflix, but Netflix does have an ATR of about 11 points, you know, could put in a nice little downside leg, right? Especially if we're day trading options here, could get some nice legs out of that. NVDA, kind of the same deal here as well. Really strong move here in the last couple of days. Up here near this 500, but could reach 500. So not against playing this a little bit higher here to get to this 500. But again, just a little bit more limited on the risk reward here to the upside. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, just playing probabilities, right? Just going to be a little bit harder for this to happen. Another name up here near its weekly squeeze top, you know, could see a rejection here. Q's and SPY we really already talked about. Tesla here. Get my spaghetti off. Tesla is one that I have like short, right? We had a nice short on it here on Friday. Could be a name that continues to be weak. Let's see if we just continue to go lower here on Tesla. Not a bad one to play here to the downside since it has been overall weak. Kind of putting in a lowercase h here. Let's see if we maybe complete that h. But alright, y'all, we got about 40 seconds here. Gonna leave up AMD right here. Let's dive into our actual setup here. Get my party lines out. And alright, y'all, 20 seconds here. It is Monday, y'all, so y'all already know. We do sometimes see a high of week or a low of week on a Monday, so be patient here at open. Let's let this market shake out a little bit. Again, we have data coming tomorrow in the form of CPI, PPI on Wednesday. You know, no need to rush into things this morning, right? Immediately already seeing some rotation, right? YM popping and NQ dropping here a bit. So let's see here, just got to give this a chance to shake out, maybe getting a little team pop here. ES popping so far. And alright, we've got a decent negative open here on Tick and ADD. Tick opening down here near negative 900 or so, ADD down near negative 1000. As always, looking for this interaction at 0 here for Tick. So let's see if we get that here soon. But for right now, YM with a decent pop, bringing ES up to VWAP. And NQ just kind of hanging out here, giving a little bit of a downside look. But again, just like we talked about in our prep last night, right? Wouldn't be surprised to get a little pullback here across the board. But as always, just going to be patient here at the open. Let this rotation shake out a little bit. And see what we get here. And so again, not surprised to see, as we have been seeing pretty much every single day, just some rotation here out the gate, right? YM pops, NQ drops, ES doesn't really go anywhere, and then they turn the whole thing around, right? NQ will start popping here, YM starts to drop here, and still ES just goes nowhere. Take a quick peek at our names again just to see what's kind of moving here and what's not. Zoom it in, zoom it in. Apple not really going anywhere. AMD dropping here a little bit. Again, nothing crazy, right? Again, said AMD could be one of those ones that drops in a range pretty quick again. Getting a little drop here so far. Amazon with a decent little drop here from pre-market and into this open. Let's see if she comes down for this 140. But again, nothing crazy. Google not really going anywhere. Meta, nice little pop here so far. But again, nothing crazy, but we are seeing a little rotation here just within tech, right? Couple names dropping, couple names popping. Microsoft not really going anywhere. Netflix popping here a little bit, it seems. And NVDA popping a little bit, right? We just saw AMD giving a little bit of a downside look. So even some even some rotation here within chips. You know, even more than just within tech. And Tesla with a little drop here. But as of right now, nothing too crazy here. Just gonna keep being patient. ES coming down for a low of day, dropping a tiny bit here. Still above this 4400 though that we battled with so much last week. So a decent look here above a massive psych level for us. You know, wouldn't mind a little pullback here at least to test this 4400. Maybe we pop from there and just chop around here a bit today while we wait for CPI tomorrow and PPI on Wednesday. VIX here opened just a little bit above 15 and catching a little bit of a pop here. Something to keep an eye on if we start going lower. ADD going a little bit lower, already kind of giving us that look. Ooh, an NQ starting to drop here. Dragging ES down with it. YM coming back down here near its open. But now trying to hang on. Google, nice hold of its open level right here. I like that. Even in this decent little drop for NQ. Again, I like Google both ways, sitting in the middle of this gap. But again, I'm not going to get too risky here just yet and start buying calls on Google just because it does have that gap fill to the upside. Right, I'm overall expecting a pullback today. A pullback or some chop maybe. So especially on a day like today where we do have CPI tomorrow and PPI on Wednesday, you know, I'd be totally okay with not taking any trades at all today, right? You don't have to trade every single day. You should though show up and keep that axe sharp every single day. So we're here, baby, just collecting some data, you know. Letting the dust settle here. And just trying to get an idea of what they might set up for tomorrow, right? Again, we're going to get that CPI as well as that PPI before the open tomorrow. Which can sometimes really throw off our entire trading day, right? They'll sometimes make a very strong move pre-market and then just chop it up during the session. So could be some frustrating days to come here in the next couple days. But it is what it is. Just have to stay very aware of it. Let it all settle. Maybe we'll get a nice clean move here later this week. But NQ dropping here for now. Let's see, and Google holding up here. Don't mind it. SPY dropping a little bit harder here. Let's see how these calls are doing. I have this 442 call up for tomorrow and this 437 put up for tomorrow. This 442 call getting down to this open range buy zone. Let's see if we get a little bounce here for SPY and these calls. SPY also getting to its open range buy zone. And man, Google holding up here as NQ is dropping. If we get some rotation back, Google could maybe see a little upside here. But again, still just staying aware that we could see rotation here within sectors, right? As we kind of have been seeing. Nice short here on Tesla. Tesla. Cranking, baby. See NVDA not really going anywhere here. Netflix not really going anywhere. Microsoft dropping a bit. Meta popping a bit, but not really going anywhere. Oh, Google's starting to pull back here a little bit. Oof, Amazon here really taking this drop. Could see 140 here. Got this daily 8 right here and a lower time frame squeeze. Actually a 4-hour squeeze bottom. I like Amazon down here to 140. Could happen. And AMD, sure enough, doing what we talked about. Starting to drop here. Could go back into this range. Apple dropping as well. Yeah, we talked about this 180 put in our prep yesterday. Could be the one. Let's see. Google with a little bit of a harder drop here, like we were just talking about, but SPY looking to bounce here at our open range buy zone provided by our Beast tool. SPY also has this 1-hour squeeze bottom right under this zone. Well, let's see, tick finally getting up here near 0, not there quite yet. Let's see what this interaction looks like here. But we're still seeing rotation, right? YM popping here now as NQ takes this drop. NQ down to a 1-hour squeeze bottom. Let's see if we start to bounce here. VIX curling over here a bit, giving us this little bit of a pop here. YM really popping. ADD taking that bounce here right near our open range buy zone. Google down to this open range buy zone. See how Tesla's doing over here. I like this Tesla short. Already just taken off though. Wouldn't mind a pop here for a re-entry maybe to go lower. Not giving us an easy entry there though on Tesla. like where we're at here though. These calls taking a nice little bounce here so far on SPY. SPY trying to hold this open range buy zone. And I like Google here at our open range buy zone as well. This 135 call getting down to this open range buy zone. Wouldn't mind seeing it down here though before jumping in. Let's see what some of these closer strikes might look like. This 134, maybe this 133 here at about 80 cents. Ooh, I like that. Google getting right up in there now. Deep into this open range buy zone here on both. I like that. Kind of like these four charts here. See if we start to get a bounce. And again, you know, while I'm expecting a pullback, could just be chop, right? Could just be chop here. So wouldn't mind playing a little bounce here and expecting just that, right? Just a little bounce. Play some short trades here. Tick going a little bit higher here. Now looking like we're really testing zero. Oh, a little crack through here, positive. Let's see what our interaction is. No, I would not be buying Tesla calls just because Tesla's been overall weak, right? There's better names you could play to the upside. You know, especially while we're still getting some downside looks here, like, you know, Apple still dropping here heavy. You know, Tesla has been pretty weak here, especially under this daily mean right here, this thick white line here in this top right chart. You know, it doesn't mean that this doesn't pop here, right? Can't stress that enough. But since it's been overall weak, right, I would just think there's better names to play here to the upside. Though I do like Tesla above 200. Right, I do expect Tesla to maybe ultimately rally here above this 200. But again, we're playing options here, so you know, you start buying calls here at 212, you might be looking like you're going to average down through 200, right? And that would be pain. So at least at this moment, I would not buy Tesla calls. Doesn't mean you can't buy them today or maybe in a few minutes, but I would just kind of keep letting this play out before thinking about that. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen though, right? Like I'm saying over here though, I really like where we could bounce here. Let's say, for example, Google on these open range buy zones, right? SPY as well on this open range buy zone, and our call here for SPY at this open range buy zone, right? And we're starting to go a little sideways here on this call, on SPY itself. Ooh, Google cracking below this open range buy zone. So yeah, going to be hesitant on calls here, right? Maybe getting that pullback we've been looking for and that we've been talking about. But we are at a couple good levels of support, so I just want to allow it to maybe bounce before jumping into those calls. So I want to take a quick look at QQQ over here. Q's cracking a little bit lower, not at any crazy levels of support. We do have a thin little squeeze right here. What we got? A 1 hour squeeze bottom, right? Could start to fire here to the downside is what it's looking like though, so gotta be careful here. You know, as long as we start to base here though, I don't mind the idea of calls, right? I want to see tick continue to try to press into zero and eventually give us that crack higher, right? NQ goes sideways here at this 1 hour squeeze bottom and our destination buy zone, right? This is the lowest zone on our beast tool. You know, we could have us a nice little bounce here, right? I want to see ADD keep crawling higher here above this open level. But again, I don't want to be the first one to the party, right? Here we are still cracking a little bit lower on Qs. Big Google holding up here. I might take a little shot here on Google. I don't mind this. Maybe something a little cheaper here since it's early in the week. Alright, I'm going to start up here with two of these bad boys. 134 call on Google at about 49 cents. Alright, not going to get too risky here, right? Just going to see if we can hold this open range buy zone on both the call and the equity. Right, we start to lose this green zone and this green zone, I will bail out. But it is early, and I don't mind this 37 cents previous day's open as a nice little zone to average down through. So I'll probably average down through this 37 cents, average down through this daily mean and point of control. If I lose those two, I will bail out on these calls. And I'm in here at about 49 cents is my entry, so I would go down to about 37 cents. Nothing too crazy. And I'm only in 2 contracts for right now, so nothing that's going to break me if it goes against me. But again, looking for some rotation back, right? Let's see if YM starts to pull back here and NQ starts to bounce here. I'm just going to take a quick look around here again. And Apple going a little bit lower here. Tough here for Apple. Just want to see Tesla as well. Tesla, nice bounce. Might be a good entry for puts here on Tesla. See what these puts look like. Something even down to this 200, right? Picking up some volume here already. Let's just keep an eye on this 200 right here. Maybe this 205. Google starting to pop here a little bit. Again, doesn't mean we don't get an H, so, you know, still not getting super excited here or anything. And just got to give this some time now to play out. Right, again, you know, because we have CPI tomorrow and PPI on Wednesday, won't be surprised at all if we just kind of keep seeing some chop, just keep seeing some rotation. You know, they're going to drag today out as long as possible probably, as they wait for tomorrow and for Wednesday. Ooh, Tesla right back up to this open level and yesterday's high. Oof. I'll take a little shot here on these puts. So I've got some Google calls and I've got some Tesla puts, right? Let's see if one comes out to be decent here, right? I don't mind to cut the other if we do get a combined move here, right? A team move. But as of right now, just expecting some chop, right? I've got a couple little seeds planted in case we do make a move in either direction here. And again, because of the rotation, right, both of these names could actually move in my favor at the same time. Wouldn't be too surprised by that. Up a couple cents on these Tesla puts, up a cent on this Google put. Just gotta wait now. But not surprised at all to see the market just kind of waiting as well, right? Only been about 23 minutes here, y'all. Nothing crazy. I know I jumped into some positions here early, but if you're not in anything, don't stress it, right? Right now, there's no really clear trades. We're not going anywhere. I've just planted some seeds. So for sure, if you have a small account, don't, rush into a position because you see me jumping into stuff, right? Nothing is happening right now. I bought some contracts here at spots that I would like. Right at my open range buy zone here. I let Tesla get back up to its open level before I shorted it, right, and yesterday's high. And both are kind of moving in my favor here a tiny bit. But again, nothing crazy so far. Again, if we roll over here, I'm going to collect on Tesla. I'm going to average down on my Google calls. And I'll be totally fine with that. Ooh, NQ going a little bit lower here, deeper into our destination buy zone. YM not really doing much. ES going a little bit lower here. Let's see if we get this roll. Especially you, Tesla. Come on, baby. Roll over for us. And being met with little bounces here, right? So again, very hyper aware that, my positions might not work at all here, right? We're seeing a lot of chop, a lot of rotation. We're not really going anywhere. So again, I'm not going to be upset if neither of my positions work out, right? I'm kind of expecting that this morning, if ultimately we don't go anywhere. Which is looking very possible right now. A little dip lower, met with some bounces, right? Really makes price action kind of tough here. Right, VIX keeps creeping lower, but continuously met by bounces. Kind of just chopping it up here. Tick, though, remaining overall negative. But again, while ADD bounces and gets above its open level, right? So a couple things kind of pulling at each other here. So again, keeping my expectations low. Right, Tesla bouncing back up to this open level, coming back down to my entry here. Oh, and creeping a little bit higher. But again, struggling with this open level and this high from Friday. And again, not going to stress this here too much. Got time on this contract, right? Can let it pop a little bit. Probably come right back down because of all this chop. Just got to be patient here. And I've got a little bit of Google here helping me on the other side at least. Nice pop here though so far. YM not really popping though, so still seeing a little bit of rotation here. But again, getting kind of a slow morning here, just as we expected though, right? We talked about it in prep last night, talked about it here before the open this morning. Just keeping these expectations in check. Not surprised at all by the current price action. VIX getting down here and cracking a little bit under 15. Let's see if we ultimately hold 15 here though. 15 a big one for VIX, and we've got our open range buy zone right here pretty much at this 15. Current low of day right to the cent at our open range buy zone here at 14.98. Let's see if we hold this 15. VIX cranks higher and this market rolls over. The dollar really holding here at this 105, almost 105.9-ish right here. See the peeps are screaming meta in the chat. Let's take a look over here. A Metacron a little bit higher, right? Y'all know what we talked about here. Through this 330 could be a serious little dance here to the upside. But again, might require the market here, right? Don't know if Meta will just run by itself here to the upside. We will see. But still just keeping an eye on this 442 call here for SPY. Still holding our open range buy zone. Still just trying to hang on here. Right, and ultimately still just haven't really gone anywhere here this morning. Got a couple individual names making some nice moves. Ooh, tick rejecting here at 0 once again. Ooh, a hard drop here in the dollar. Let's see if we start to get some upside here in the market. Going to be careful with my Tesla puts here while this dollar is dropping. If we do crack through our open range sell zone here and through this high of day, we'll definitely be cutting these puts here. But again, still early, still just seeing a lot of chop here in rotation. Not going to get giddy to the upside here. This is what they do, right? They make one side look really nice here, and then boom, snap it back the other direction. But overall here, dollar dropping hard, VIX with a decent little drop, tick getting back up here and cracking positive. ADD still kind of just sideways here. So still just being patient here, y'all. Still don't mind the positions I'm in. This Google call holding up decent. This Tesla put not too far off here. Still like it in this zone. Just gotta let it unfold. Let's see if ultimately these 1 hour squeeze bottoms could take us higher here if we find some good support at them. Again, can't stress it enough on ES here that we are pretty close to this 4400. So wouldn't be surprised if we come down and test this 4400 from above and then maybe catch a bounce here middle of the day. Just a couple of things to think about here as we go forward into the session. Again, this 442 call on SPY still just hanging on here to our open range buy zone. Could give us some upside here. Looking like NQ and YM trying to pop here together. Oh. Slow morning here, y'all. Slow morning. If you're not in any trades, don't stress it. Probably the best position you can be in right now is cash, since we're not really going anywhere here. And this whole pop here across the board met with a little rejection. Another little rejection here at 0 for tick. Little test of VWAP here on ES. Met with a rejection. Kind of getting a slow curl here, both on Google and Tesla, but really just not going anywhere, right? Keep getting these little rejections here in Tesla, in Google, or other names, I'm sure, but just not really going anywhere here. Just wicks all over the place. Oh, Tesla popping up here a little bit. Let's see. Eating low of day here on these Tesla puts, but again, just being met with a lot of little rejections here. So gonna give this a little second. Right, I got time on this, so not too stressed. Right, if this rolls back over, this will come right back up to my entry. But still, ADD giving a downside look here. Tick staying negative. VIX trying to hold up here. I think I'm going to average down here on my Tesla puts. Just going to buy one more. And then I'm going to be ready to cut this if I need to down here. But again, just going to give this a little time to work here under this 30-minute squeeze cloud. Even though we're popping here a bit, the internals aren't really screaming for a bounce. But I'm going to be very careful here with these Tesla puts. We did just print a high of day on Tesla, and even though met with little rejections, right, we're staying up here. So I'm not going to eat too much more on this, right? I'm always willing to average down right before I cut. So I did that. I'm just going to give this a little bit of time here to work. Can always re-enter as well, right? I don't need to eat too much damage here. I can cut this and then re-enter it if it starts to look good again later. But for right now, not too stressed. Eating a little bit here, but being offset by a little bit of gains here on this side. Overall, no harm done just yet. But Tesla, I need you to chill, baby. Chill. Tick coming up here to 0 again, trying to give a little peek through. NQ peaking a little bit higher, but still getting that rotation, right? YM still here with the downside look. ES not really going anywhere. VIX going a little bit lower here though, giving us that upside look. And let's see, NQ getting up here to VWAP and this 5-minute 21 could be a good spot for rejection here on NQ. Let's see. And starting to pull back right there where we would expect. See if she holds up though and continues higher. We are at a nice key psych level here as well for NQ at this 15,500. See if we turn this key psych level here into some support and go higher, right? You got this 30-minute squeeze here popping up now as well. Decent pullback here for ES at VWAP. Tesla did pump a little bit higher here, holding at about the 60 cents on this 200 put. Don't have point of control here too far away on Tesla, so I'll probably allow it through that current point of control, but we'll probably give it up if we do crack through there. Google starting to roll over here on me a little bit. Still green on this, but not by much. But let's see, if we do start to get that pullback, I will be much more interested in my Tesla puts working than my Google calls. So I will be okay with that. But again, to what we've been talking about here yesterday and today, not surprised at all to see this tough price action, right? Especially as we wait for economic data to come in tomorrow and Wednesday, right? Not surprised at all to see us just kind of dragging our feet here and not really going anywhere. Still just kind of holding here. Little pop back up here on this 30-minute squeeze for NQ. We do now have to get through VWAP here on ES and on NQ. VWAP is my white triangles you see here. And let's see, a nice little pop back up here. Let's see if they do it. And Tesla going a little bit higher here. Your Tesla calls would have worked here today, my friend. But again, just due to price action, hard to really know anything here with these names and all this rotation that we keep getting. That's kind of the beauty of day trading options as well, right? Only has to work for a couple minutes, get your piece, and get out. See if tick can continue to hold positive here, and maybe we can actually break out and go higher. Again, just a hard battle here at VWAP for both NQ and ES. And internal's kind of grinding to go higher, but not really loving it, you know. Not really strong conviction here. Could really see a rollover here happening at VWAP, both on NQ and on ES. Still just going to keep holding on to both my positions here, though, while we do make a decision here at VWAP. Can't really say I love either of them, but I don't hate them just yet. But it does kind of feel like a rollover is coming here. Kind of a snooze here, kind of a snooze. Kind of feels like a roll is coming. I think I'm just going to collect here on my Google calls. And just let my Tesla here play out a little bit. Can always re-enter all of these things, of course. Just going to collect a little cash here though. Right, kind of just reduce my exposure as well to this just chop, right? The longer we sit here sideways, the more either direction really just becomes a gamble, right? But again, just having 5 days on this, you know, I'm not going to stress this too much. Even the other side, right? Wouldn't have stressed it too much. But still, just don't love sitting sideways here for so long and hanging on to positions, right? See how the boys are doing over here in Meta. Oh, damn, yeah. Nice call out here through that 330. God damn. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, Tesla, chill, baby. Right up to this point of control, though. Let's see. I'm going to give her a little opportunity to reject here at this point of control. And again, today could be a really range-bound day, right? We're here near this 4,400. An easy move is to roll over to this 4,400, bounce, and then we just hang out here most of the day, right? Today's going to be one of those days that's not really worth sizing in, not really worth going too hard on positions or getting too attached, right? We could just see a lot of chop. Getting a little bounce here. All right, Tesla right up to this point of control. Gonna push me into a decision here pretty soon. Gonna give her a little chance here to hang out though. If we do start to just go sideways here, I will totally be averaging down and picking up a fourth one. Give us a nice little position here to possibly go back down, right? And this is why I always like to just start by buying 1 or 2 contracts at a time. Allow yourself a little bit of time to be wrong, average down on your position, you know, and really build a nice position for when things do turn in your direction. Nice little pop here though, and Q going for a high of day, but getting met with a rejection right back down to VWAP. And again, all these little pops being met with little rejections. So again, can't stress this enough here this morning, right? Whether you're in a position, not in a position, your position's working a little bit or not working a little bit, nothing really worth stressing here today, as we haven't really made any moves, right? Nothing has really happened here so far. VIX coming down to low of day, could print a fresh one here, right at it. Google going a little bit higher here. Should have held those Google calls. But again, nothing too crazy here on a Monday. Oh, nice pop there. Nice, nice. Looking like we're cracking higher here, so we'll be prepared to cut this Tesla short here pretty soon, but just keep getting met with little rejections, right? And again, just with what I know we got this week, just gonna give it a little more time than I normally would, you know? But as always, can re-enter later, right? So it starts to go really against me here. I'm gonna cut it and give it another shot later. Going a little higher through this point of control. I think I might cut this here through this daily 200 right here. But let's see, let's see. Again, just not serious conviction here in either direction, right? This could be elevator down here at any moment. And again, got the entire week on this contract, so this will easily recover once we do get that pullback. And even though all indices pop in here a bit, YM definitely leading here in this pop, still giving us some rotation. Nice little peek through 132 here for Google. Nice. Take another quick look around the board here. Come back over here to Meta. Nice, still pumping here above this 330. Let's go. Man, a really nice play here on Meta. Amazon, nice pump back up here off this like 140.5. Nice. Getting back up here to the top of this wedge here from pre-market. Right at about 143-ish. So let's see what Amazon can do here at this 143. Oof, Apple fading here though. Still seeing some rotation even within tech, right? So again, just kind of some signs that we might not really go anywhere here. AMD also catching a pullback. Google popping back up, not back up at high of day just yet. Just looked at Meta. Microsoft popping after a little dip. Could just see more of a wedge here. Netflix the same, right? So just not really going anywhere just yet. Can't stress it enough. If you haven't hit any trades this morning, it's all good. You know, there hasn't really been any crazy trades out here. Meta kind of the best looking thing here so far this morning. Got a couple peeps in the Discord here printing on Meta. But overall, just chilling here. And we're getting back up to this 4420 here on ES. This 4420 has been a key level for us. And also peppered in there with our open range buy zone, which could be resistance once we get up to it. So I know this 44.20 here is a tough level, right? Gonna be tough for us to get through this if we do get up here. Doesn't mean we don't, right? But it just could be more of this, right? Little pullback here across the board. Tick just glued to 0 here, right? Really not giving us much here in either direction. ADD with a slow grind higher, but up at our open range sell zone. Could see a little rejection here. Keep looking through our names here again. Meta getting up to the top of the second Kellner channel, right? Through this peak, though. Only just. So this could be a spot where Meta rejects. Something to keep an eye on here. Especially to my peeps that are in some calls here. Right? Probably gonna need the whole market to keep going higher there for Meta. Apple back down below this 185. An AMD double bottom. Let's see this baby. Yep, looking like it here. Again, though, AMD pretty jacked up here on the daily. Wouldn't be surprised if it just keeps falling back into this range. Let's see NVDA here on the counter, and you know, seeing some rotation here just within chips, right? NVIDIA popping, AMD dropping. Maybe we get some rotation back here between these two. Google is still struggling with this 132. Microsoft, you know, not surprised to see this little pullback here. Again, just tough to go higher here for Microsoft. Definitely gonna need the whole market here to go higher, but again, would love to see a pullback first. Netflix, same thing, right? Want a nice pullback here. Too jacked up here. Still just holding up here overall. Got a nice key strike level of 445 to work with right here. In NVIDIA, just like we saw, right, our target here is 500, but again, just really jacked up right now. Could use a little pullback. And Tesla, up here there's daily 200 and daily mean, right? Could be some good moving averages here for a short. Let's see how we do here. Maybe roll over to come and try another attempt at this gap. Get us down to 200, but we will see. Oh, a little pop here higher for ES. Maybe a little high of day print. But still met with little rejections. Internal's not really pointing one way or another. But still have a lot of day left here, y'all. You know, only been an hour and some change here. Still got plenty of day left, you know, likely they will make a move here sooner or later. Oh, ES popping here a little bit higher, getting up to this open range buy zone. Again, met with a little rejection. YM getting up to our open range sell zone. Met with a little rejection. NQ not really popping here along with the other two, though. Tesla popping up here again a bit to get up to this daily 200 once again. Hasn't quite tested it, but getting close. Nice pop for ES here up to 44.20. A slow drip higher here. But again, if you have calls, keep trimming those calls on the way up here, right? We keep getting met with a lot of little rejections. We have a lot of day left, right? We could easily engulf all this right back down to low of day. So if you are in calls, trim them. Please trim them, right? Collect profits as we go. Because we know how it goes here, right? Staircase up and then boom, elevator down. Nice pop here, nice pop. Tesla getting up here to the daily mean. Right, definitely taking some damage here on this put. Gonna make a decision here in the next few minutes. Gonna give these two moving averages the chance to give us the rejection here, especially since we're up at our destination sell zone as well here on Tesla. Again, if this was a 0 day, definitely would have been out of this a long time ago, but since we got a couple days on this baby, just gonna let her work here a bit. See how Meta's doing here. I want to see if Meta keeps popping along with the market as she is getting a little bit higher, losing a little steam up here on Meta. Careful to those who are still in her here. And again, this 4420 is going to be key here. Let's see if we actually get through this thing. But alright, I'm going to wrap up my session here. Again, leaving you here at a good level for a possible reversal or a decision to go, much higher. This 4420 has been a big level for us in the past on ES. Definitely keep an eye on this. Love that it's right in our open range buy zone. Should get a good decision here for the next couple of hours. Alright, so keep an eye on that, y'all. But I will be back on here for my next session on Thursday for the open and Friday. So I will catch all of you guys then. I hope everyone has here a great rest of the trading day. And remember, we have CPI tomorrow and PPI on Wednesday. So keep those expectations in check. Right, we have been met with a lot of rejections here, whether it be upside or downside. So if you're getting moves in your favor, trim those contracts, right? If you can buy 2 or 3 contracts at a time or more, remember to trim those contracts as we move in your direction, all right? All right, y'all, much love, and I will catch y'all later, and I'll see y'all in the chat, all right? Later.